Hello my dears, today we're making a potato broccoli casserole with a cheese crust. For this we need broccoli, starchy potatoes, parmesan, emmental cheese, butter, flour, rosemary, garlic, salt, pepper, cream and nutmeg. We start by peeling the potatoes. We use a starchy potato because starchy potatoes contain more starch and we need the starch so the cream will thicken later. We do add a slight thickening with the flour and butter, but it's only very light. And the rest of the thickening comes from the potatoes. Always peel off the black parts as well. Please don't buy pre-cooked potatoes or anything like that, or pre-peeled potatoes. Those aren't good products. Some of them are peeled in acid or in washing drums and then treated with some kind of bleaching agents so they don't turn brown. A potato turns brown after being exposed to oxygen for some time. Use this product fresh for the best taste. Even when making fried potatoes, avoid ready-made options. I'm making the potatoes today with broccoli. You can use any vegetables you like. Bell peppers or zucchini also work well. Depending on what you're in the mood for and what you still have in your fridge, there are no limits to your imagination. Also, when you go to buy the potatoes, make sure you don't pick ones that are too small. We want to have potato slices, and the bigger ones are just a bit better for that. Ask the vegetable vendor for the big ones so you have less peeling to do. Now we're going to slice the potatoes. If the potato doesn't sit well and keeps wobbling back and forth, then here's a tip. Just cut a small slice off one side to make it flat, and then it will sit straight on the cutting board. And then the risk of injury goes down and it won't slip as easily. And then just slice it down into nice, evenly thick pieces. Of course, you can do the whole thing with a grater if you have a suitable one at home. Otherwise, just use a knife. Now we'll put them straight into the bowl. Next, I'll take the broccoli and just cut off the stem down here. A bit more generously. You don't have to throw away the stem. With broccoli, the stem is often thrown away, but that's a shame. It has a really good flavor. Just peel it a little bit. So this woody part is slightly removed. And you can also slice that up and cook it with your food. You don't have to throw it away. Yep. So this. Now we slice all of this, including the florets, into slices about as thick as you slice the potatoes. Add it in already. And now I'll just slice this up as well. just so I can layer it better in the dish later. Now we can start layering it. For that we just alternate a little bit. First a layer of potatoes with the stems a little bit, then a few slices of broccoli in between again. And then a few more potatoes on top. Make sure you don't have too many air gaps. Just press down a little from time to time. And it's always better if the top layer isn't made of broccoli, because those fine veins burn very easily. That means I'll put all these little pieces in the middle of our gratin and then finish off with a few slices of broccoli. Just for the appearance. And the potatoes go on top here as a kind of protection. Now we'll put the two nice slices on top. Press down really firmly so the air pockets come out. Now we'll quickly grate the two types of cheese. For this, I have an Emmental and a Parmesan. You can also use a Gouda. Please don't use one thing. That's pre-grated cheese. You just never know what's in the package. Buy yourself a piece of cheese and grate it yourself. There's even this substitute cheese nowadays, or whatever it's called, which has nothing to do with real cheese anymore, but is just made of fat. You often find it on ready-made pizzas and things like that, so it's better to use a piece of real cheese. And now here on the fine grater, grate it down, be careful with your fingers. The Parmesan as well. That's it for today, see you. Okay. Now let's make the sauce. For that we'll take a bit of butter. Very little butter. We don't need much because the potato already has its own starch. That's just for safety reasons. We bind it a bit more so it doesn't just run off later. On the plate, we let a lot of it melt. Once it's frothy, add the flour. Now we saute the flour a little. There's a reason for this. The starch comes out a bit, and otherwise it would have a very unpleasant floury taste. Let it saute for a while. And now we add our cream. You can also use half milk, half cream if you want a little less fat. Now we bring the whole thing to a boil and season it with a crushed clove of garlic. I just smash it once with the palm of my hand, add the garlic skin to the cream, then 3 sprigs of rosemary. They give a really good flavor. Once the cream has simmered a bit, we'll take them out again later. It adds a unique, intriguing flavor that guests can't identify and never forget, making it truly sophisticated. Now we'll add pepper to season it. a pinch of nutmeg. A lot of salt, and there's a reason for that. When you taste the sauce, it actually has to taste a bit too salty. The potato absorbs a lot of flavor from the sauce. Without enough salt in the sauce, your potato gratin will taste bland after baking. That's why, just this once, really go overboard with the salt. I promise you, after that you'll have the right flavor. For marinades, I suggest tasting them first to check if they're flavorful and salty enough. Yes, just like that. You can't season it well after baking since it's a compact potato gratin and the middle is unreachable. You can't put salt inside anymore, only on top, making it taste bland. Let's let the whole thing simmer for a bit, about a minute or two. Meanwhile, let's preheat the oven. I'm going to use a convection setting now, about 160 degrees. Or 170 degrees. If you have a regular oven, so top and bottom heat, then just use 180 degrees. You can see it's now slightly thickened thanks to our roux. Not too much. A bit more thickening will come from the potatoes. And now we can do this already. I'll hold the rosemary with the whisk, and now we'll pour the sauce over it here. And now we'll sprinkle the cheese on top. Kind and generous. We want a thick, delicious cheese crust later. That's good. And now we'll put it in the oven for about 45 to 50 minutes. It's best to test it afterwards by poking it with a small skewer. If it goes in easily, it's done. Three-quarters of an hour have passed. Let's take it out of the oven. It's nice and golden yellow. It looks wonderful. And you can see clearly the sauce has really thickened now. Now we'll let it cool for another 10 to 15 minutes before we serve it, because it's just still too hot. And then the sauce will get a little thicker as well. Enjoy your meal. Hope you like it.